Hello, everyone. This is APO Sports, and we're continuing our series with the 2025 Indiana Fever player projections as far as their numbers, the stats, and what can we expect to see from their performances. And then in this one, we're going to be talking about another newcomer, Brianna Turner. So this is going to be another interesting one. Just talking about a stacked roster and trying to find minutes and contributions for all of them. Again, I've said before that I both envy and do not want to be the coaching staff, just because of the cool challenge that it represents, but also how do you keep everybody happy? So we're going to be talking a little bit about Brianna Turner. So Brianna Turner has been in the league now for six years, 6 seasons. This upcoming one, 2025, it's going to be her seventh season. And she started her career with the Phoenix Mercury. And her first year, it just seems to be like the typical pattern is that unless you're a generational talent, right? Like recently, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, most rookies in the WNBA, very unlike the NBA, they don't get that much time or that much playing time. So her first year, she averaged about 15 or 16 minutes per game, and then after that, she started getting the minutes, right? So her second year, third year, fourth year, huge minutes, especially 2021, 2022 for the Phoenix Mercury. She was averaging 31 minutes per game in 2021, 33 minutes per game in 2022. And in both of those years, she was selected as the All-Defensive WNBA First Team. So yeah, that's what she was selected for, talking about and displaying her defensive abilities. And she was also voted third in the Defensive Player of the Year category in 2021, and in 2020, Defensive Player of the Year, she came in fourth in the voting for that. So this is clearly someone who has a great defensive presence. And then for whatever reason, in 2023, her numbers started going down, and I don't know, maybe she was competing with some other big players. Yeah, so her minutes in 2023 started to decrease. I mean, if we go back again to 2020, 2021, 2022, she had started pretty much every game. So not once did she come off the bench in those 3 years in a row. Then 2023, she actually came off the bench for 7 games, and she went from averaging 33 minutes per game to 26 minutes per game. So I don't necessarily know what happened there and what caused the decrease in minutes. It doesn't appear from looking at her numbers that her effectiveness was dropping in any way. Actually, it seems like even with the less amount of minutes, so we're talking about 7 less minutes, she was still averaging almost the same amount of rebounds and the same amount of steals and the same amount of blocks in 7 minutes. We're talking about per game, not per 36 minutes. So she still had a huge impact, even with the small amount of minutes that she was getting. And then Chicago. So in February, this was interesting. This is a super interesting thing that happened. And again, this is not a player spotlight for Brianna Turner, but I think we have to provide some context as to how she ended up in playing with the Chicago Sky last year. And it appears that she was traded by Phoenix to Chicago for a first 2024. I mean, this was big. This was a lot that Chicago gave up, and Phoenix gave up. So both of them gave up a significant amount of assets. So Brianna Turner was traded by the Phoenix Mercury, and Phoenix gave Michaela Onyenwere. I think Onyenwere. I've never seen this. I mean, my bad. Again, I'm a new fan of the WNBA. A 2024 first round pick. This is from Phoenix to Chicago, which became Camila Cardoso. A 2025 second round pick, a 2026 first round pick, and a 2026 second round pick. So I mean, this was a lot. And then all of that was sent to the Chicago Sky in exchange for Kalia Copper and Morgan Birch. So essentially, Brianna Turner, Michaela Onyenwere, 2024 first round pick, which was Camila Cardoso, a 2024 second round pick, a 2026 first round pick, and a 2026 second round pick. That was a lot for Phoenix to get Kalia Copper and Morgan Birch. But then what happened, right? So this, I'm assuming February 2024, everything seems okay. Everything seems promising for Brianna Turner as far as like being the big player for Chicago Sky. But then the draft comes around and it's hard to predict because I would imagine that by this time in February 2024, maybe the lottery hadn't been. I don't know the timing, right, as to how players are supposed to fall in place, who's going to get drafted, who's not, who do they like, who do they don't like. But then within the first 10 picks, this guy draft two big players, right? So two big or high profile players in Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese. And there goes pretty much Brianna Turner's season and impact in minutes with the Chicago Sky, because these minutes all went to the rookies. So she goes from starting 33 out of 40 games with Phoenix and playing 26 minutes a game with Phoenix to then being, of course, traded to the Sky and then starting 2 games out of 27 games and only playing 9 minutes per game. So that season, unfortunately, reduced Brianna Turner's value in the league for whatever reason. And then she was a free agent. Finally, I think this is the first time that she's a free agent, it seems like. And she decided to sign with the Indiana Fever, which is a stacked roster. Now, again, we have to go back to the potential discussions that happened between the front office of the Indiana Fever and Brianna Turner. Was she promised more playing time? Was she promised a vital role coming off the bench? It's hard to know that, but it's also hard for me to think, then why did she sign with the Fever if it was not to have a big role in that team, unless she's interested in winning? I mean, I don't know, right? So I mean, this is the interesting thing to me, like before we get into the stats, because me, without understanding all of that, all of those discussions and everything like that, in my opinion, Brianna Turner is probably the 10th most important player in this team as far as impact and everything like that. But it depends. So I mean, we'll talk about that as we do the statistics. But anyway, here's what we have: a player that was a monster with the Phoenix Mercury, especially on the defensive side of things and the impact. Not only that, she also played in the WNBA Finals. I think that was in 2021, whenever the Mercury were last in the WNBA Finals. And she played huge minutes in that series, having a great impact. The Mercury lost that series to the Sky, but she was there. She was trusted to play big minutes, and so was Sophie Cunningham. So this is one thing that both Sophie Cunningham and Brianna Turner bring to the table, is a lot of experience. WNBA Finals playtime experience. So that's really good to have. But anyways, here now she's coming into the Indiana Fever, and let's get into the numbers. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be tough, just like the other ones have been tough. At least I think the toughest ones to do. I think for the other ones are gonna be pretty easy. The hardest projections to make were are Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner, and Damaris Dantas. This is going to, because the rest I think we know. I think we know. But for these is just the toughest thing to project, because we don't know. And to me, so I don't think, again, if they were to approach this in a neutral, without prior promises that I don't know whether they were made or not, this is just me, I don't know. Again, just trying to think about why would she choose to go to a team where she potentially may not get a lot of playing time. But in my opinion, there are going to be some games that she doesn't see the floor. And there are going to be some games where she's going to be on the floor all the time. And what games are those? Well, I would imagine games against AJ Wilson. So whenever the Fever are playing the Las Vegas Aces, I would imagine Brianna Turner is going to have a huge role. She may even play more than 20 minutes in those games, just so that she can just be bothering AJ Wilson the whole entire time. Whenever they play Brittany Griner, whenever they play, I don't know, any of these big players, maybe even Nafisa Collier. I don't know. I think she's gonna have the assignment of guarding a dominant big player on the opposite team. I think whenever they play those teams, she's gonna see big minutes. If the opposite team lacks a, high production big player, then she may not be needed. Because to me, right? So if we look at these two players right now. We look at Brianna Turner and Damaris Dantas. I am equally impressed with Brianna Turner's defensive game as I am Damaris Dantas' offensive game, right? So that is the decision: is who do you plug in any given game, and that's probably who's gonna, and what do you need at that any given game, and that's how you plug in for that game, which is an amazing luxury to have. I mean, that's the formula of a winning championship team, when you have so many different options to plug in depending on matchups. You have an answer for everybody. Oh, I would also have Brianna Turner play when they're playing against Cardoso and Angel Reese, because those two players is hard to get a rebound off of. But Turner can get rebounds, she can get blocks, she can be super active and effective against those type of teams. The minutes per game, this is a different discussion as to how many games she's gonna play. But the minutes per game, I think if it's a matchup that favors Brianna Turner, when she actually does play, I think she'll see big minutes. So I think maybe here 14 or maybe even 15.7 minutes per game. This is on the games that she plays. Again, I would have the whole thing about games played here too. Like I said, maybe she plays half the games. But when she does play, she'll see big minutes in the 15, 16 minutes, if not more. Sometimes maybe more, like I said. When they play the Aces, she might play more, in the 20-something. Who knows? Field goal attempts. So last year, it was the least amount of field goal attempts, again in 9 minutes. But when she played 15 minutes per game, her rookie year in 2019, she attempted 3.1 field goal attempts. So I'm going to go with something like that. So 3 field goal attempts. Her career field goal percentage is high because she scores around the paint. She's really good rolling to the basket for open layups. She can hit a mid-range shot around the paint. So it's not all layups. She can actually shoot a little bit. So yeah, I think about that is, I'll even do a little bit higher because her looks may be even better than ever before. So 622. 3-point attempts. So here's the curious data. She's never attempted a 3-pointer in her career. I don't expect that to change. So 0 3-point attempts. Of course, 0 percentage. Free throw attempts. So for her career, she attempts almost 1 free throw attempt per game in her career. Last year, like you said, like it says, like you see there, 0.1. Her rookie year, even though she only got 15 minutes per game, which is what we're projecting here, she did attempt 1 free throw a game. So I think something like that, maybe 0.8 free throw attempts. She's a career, she's not too bad. She's not as bad as this one suggests. So she's a career 64% free throw shooter, which is not that bad. I think it's fair to say she's somewhere in there. Let's give her, I don't know, a little bit less than her career. Just do not set the bar too high. About that. Rebounds, she's a rebound beast. So again, if we go back to her rookie year, playing 15 minutes, she corralled about 4 rebounds per game. So I think she'll corral probably more than that. So maybe 4.5 rebounds per game. Assists, she can actually pass really well. She's a really good passer. So was surprising. I didn't know that about her game, but she can pass and see and hit the open person, the open uh, person who's coming off um the back door and everything like that. So I was saying the 15 minutes per game, she'll get one assist per game, steals. She always does really well with steals, so maybe once. Oh my god, what is this? One steal per game. Blocks, she always blocks no matter what. I'm gonna give her one block per game. Turnovers should be pretty similar to what she had last season. So maybe, I don't know, because of increase of minutes, maybe that amount of turnovers. Points, okay. So points, if I'm saying she's taking 3 field goal attempts, hitting at a 62%, which might be, she's hitting 2 of them, so 4 points. And for her career, she's averaged 4.6 points per game. The most she's averaged points per game in a season was 7.8 in 2021 when she played 31 minutes per game. But even the next season when she played the most minutes ever, which was 33 minutes per game, she averaged 4.3 points per game. So she doesn't, you know, not necessarily her thing. So I think, okay, so say that she hits 2 field goals per game, that's 4 points, and maybe with a free half a free throw, that's 4.5. So let's do about 4.3 points per game. Usage, I mean, yeah, so for her career, she's averaged 9% or 9 usage rate for her career. The most that she's ever had was actually her rookie year. 12.5 usage rate on her rookie year. It's not going to be that. Last year, like we see here, was 6.7%. So it's going to be higher than that. Maybe, yeah, I think similar to 2023, I would say 8% or 8% usage rate. And then for offensive rating, defensive rating, yeah, she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be great here. I'll say 112 offensive rating. Her highest was 116 in 2020 with the Mercury. And defensive rating, I mean, she should probably be the lowest in the team with defensive rating. So 92. When she's on the court, the team should be so much better, and teams are gonna find it really hard to score. So I'll say 112, 92. Everyone on this team is gonna have amazing net ratings, in my opinion. So that's what we're gonna go with. And then awards, just because of the amount of games that she's gonna play, which to me is probably, if they play 44, maybe she'll play 22 games. 15 minutes a game. Yeah, I don't see any awards just because of that. Yeah, so I don't know. I think this is going to be super interesting for Brianna Turner. I don't know, again, like her personal goals, her personal aspirations, like what is she trying to gain from this season? Like what would for her be, you know, like a successful season? Like what does that mean? What does that look like for her? Um, does she want to make enough of an impact so that then she can hit the free agent market and get a better deal and have a more significant role once she's shown that she's capable of being a key component of a championship team? I think that's a good strategy. I just don't know again what discussions were had behind. I'm not saying behind closed doors, but privately, that the front office and executive, uh the executives, what kind of discussions did they have with Brianna Turner as far as what she was going to contribute or what her role was going to be? So I don't really know. Now, again, like, this is similar to the Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hole situation in that they both play the same position. The only problem to me is that, at least with Turner and Dantas, with Turner and Dantas, they have, even though they play the same position, they bring something different to the table. In the case of Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, they bring the same thing to the table. It's essentially virtually the same player. You just have the same player twice. With Turner and Dantas, you have two very different players that are going to give you very different things depending on what it is that you need. So, who's going to take the hit? What skill set is the team going to value the most? Is it Turner's crazy defensive and rebounding abilities, or Demarius Dantas' ability to stretch the floor, hit threes, and score from all over the place? That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's the discussion. That's the decision point. How do they do it? So it's interesting. Again, I'm doing this because I think this is a fun exercise. And I'm curious to see, you know, like, what do they do? And maybe providing my 2 cents as to how I see it working. But this could look totally different, especially for these 4 players that we've discussed, right? Damaris Dantas, Brianna Turner, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall. Those 4 players, their role is very much up in the air. And he may be, again, dependent on matchups, who's got the hot hand, who's making most of an impact game by game. That's what I'm seeing, what I see what their impact is. But again, I mean, nothing against Brianna Turner. In any different situation, any other team, I think she should be having an impact, unless she, unless she was with the Chicago Sky, which they drafted 2 high impact players, and that saw Turner kind of take a back seat to both Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. But in any other team, she's a starter and a defensive stopper and defensive anchor, and tons of value with her as well. So this is crazy that to me, right? To me, in my opinion, she's the 10th most important player, but a key, still super important, that brings, also playoff experience, that brings a great defensive game. And I've said it before, there are no holes in this team. The only problem is, who do you play consistently? Because it is stacked. Talk good about stacked. It's stacked. But that's a good thing. It's a good thing for sure to have that luxury to do that. But I'm glad Brianna Turner is with the Fever and not with anyone else. She could be used in many different situations, and I think she will. I just don't know how much. And that's what we're about to find out. But as far as her role, and when she comes to the court, what is she going to do? She's going to stop the other team. She's going to collect tons of rebounds. She's going to get steals. She's going to get blocks. She's going to hit, she can pass too. They'll probably leave her open, and then she can get to the rim, or she can pass open person, someone coming back door, off screens and things like that. She can do those things. So when she's on the floor, she'll do that. Low usage rate, which is good for the other, playing with such high usage players that the Fever have. But anyway, that's what I see. Those are my projections for Brianna Turner. Again, exciting to see how it all develops for her and the rest of the team. We're going to be continuing our next 2025 Indiana Fever projections with Damaris Dantas. And another challenging one for sure, but an exciting one nonetheless. But that's it for the video. Remember, if you like this type of content and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.